whether you're a politician, whether you're just a citizen or whatever, whether they're ethical questions or moral questions, you have got to go back to your heart and find your true self, connect with the Great Spirit and realize that love is the answer. So we welcome you back to this segment of Cock-a-Doodle-Doo this Friday morning, and we are very pleased to talk to a young citizen of Trinidad and Tobago. His name is Lyndon Batiste, and he's just about emerging from his dream and accomplishing his goal of actually publishing himself a book called 90 Days of Violence. Now we have to say right away that 90 Days of Violence is supposedly fiction, but it is based a lot on his personal experience and on many facts that, usually that's what happens with books on fiction. You have to base it a lot on your personal experiences and on historical antecedents. So, welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome, Lyndon Batiste. We're very pleased to have you on set. And, well, first of all, I've got the manuscript. It was very exciting. Usually you see a book and it's all neat and whatever it is. And this is the manuscript, which means that we have the actual original document filled with words and wonderful thoughts and ideas called 90 Days of Violence. And first of all, tell us about yourself. This is your first book, I know.
Yeah, this is my first book. Where are you looking at? Career background.
Yes, where do you come from? Where do you live?
I grew up in Trin City. That's my hometown. I am the last of 4 children.
Right.
And I guess I need to tell my mom and dad good morning, and everybody else that might be watching. So I just wanted to take the attempt to write a novel. Reason being is that we have local authors, we have authors in the Caribbean, but I don't think anyone ever exploited the opportunity of writing a book focused on crime, something contemporary that's affecting us. All right, so there are instances. Somebody from Bahamas wrote a book called The Caribbean Conspiracy. All right, so I'm just trying to do something that we could fit into and that affects us.
How did it come about, though? How did the idea gel with you that you needed to write a book on crime? And there's always some kind of epiphany that occurs that makes you realize that it's not a film that you must do, or it's not something you must say, it's not a statement you must make to a crowd. It has to be a document that you write. How did that happen?
Writing is something that from childhood I've always kind of involved myself in. One of the weaknesses that always took place was I would start a story and never finish it. 90 Days of Violence started off as a book called Big Fish, Little Fish, which was just to look at 2 gangsters and how they could go up against each other. And then, after about 3 months of writing it, I kind of stepped back and started wondering, there was a lot of things in the press regarding the impact of the government, what the government is doing regarding it. So I started trying to figure out, what's happening behind closed doors, what's happening inside a Whitehall, when crime goes down or when some big event like drugs go missing. All right, so in my imagination, using my imagination and using the internet as my research tool, I made an attempt at it to involve the Prime Minister, the 7th Prime Minister, who's Prime Minister Ambrose Taylor, in the story.
He's the one that comes after the Honorable Patrick Manning, no doubt.
7th Prime Minister. 7th Prime Minister.
What did you kind of come to a conclusion on regarding the reasons behind crime? Are there various reasons behind crime in a society, or is there just one fundamental cause of crime?
To answer that, honestly, what I would say regarding crime is that, yes, we know that the drugs has a big impact. I think that what we kind of focusing on the wrong thing being that, we're looking at the criminals, mature criminals. I think we need to kind of go back to the drawing board and look at the schools. Even if it involves things like going back to corporal punishment, all right, to kind of keep things intact. And that might sound like a harsh statement, especially on air, but I think we need to go back to the children. We need to reshape the image of the police service, being one of the things too.
Well, people are saying that that is one of the fundamental factors that sort of suggest to young people when they're very, very impressionable, that's even before they're 7 years old, that corporal punishment is a way of glorifying or even establishing as a status quo violence as a means of directing people in a certain way that society might want them to be. So are you actually condoning corporal punishment? Are you saying that we need discipline, which might not necessarily...
We need discipline. There's abuse and there's corporal punishment. Years back, ask yourself, since it stopped, what are we seeing in the schools? So that's my take on it.
You just touched on the education system as well. Do you think that the education format, the formula for education is something that we have arrived at on a very positive, accurate note, or is it something that we still have to address? Because some people are saying, some parties are saying that the education format, the education system is very dysfunctional.
Dysfunctional? I could disagree on that point, because I think there's a lot of opportunity in terms of they have free education. What I would like to see more of is people doing actually what they enjoy. For instance, in this book here, that I have no formal background in literature, and as you were saying earlier, you publish it, we don't know what the outcome of it would be. So it's good that I had a lot of fun writing the book. So if we could take that experience, do things in the education that we actually want to do, and I'm not doing software engineering, I don't want to go into media because it has a ton of money inside of it. All right, that's true.
No. And then the Honorable Patrick Manning said today that he's very upset with media, so you don't want to go there.
Okay. Well, I don't know what it will be for. What it will be like for others.
You have to express yourself, basically,
yeah.
finding your purpose.
I think that's important. If the people have a voice, and if we know our rights, we could stand up for it and deliver something.
What about process? How did you come across writing this book? How many pages does it have?
The book, when it's published, will be the equivalent of 260 pages, 269 pages. I also was able to, in terms of the process, it was a straightforward process of my dad and I doing the editing. So I did the bulk of the writing, then we printed it out. We had the editing. It was difficult, but it was a lot of fun. I mean, a lot of sleepless nights, and the reward is having the product now. All right.
Actually,
so
there.
In terms of the process, there are a lot of people I want to take the opportunity to thank. One, my father, my mom.
What's his name?
Lance Batiste.
Okay.
All right. So
he's watching, hopefully, this morning.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I hope so. He dropped me here this morning, so I don't know if he has the opportunity
to get back here on time.
All right. I need to thank my mom, different people in the household.
What's her name?
And the family, Louise Batiste.
Right.
Yeah. So, and Martin O'Brien. I worked with him to produce some pictures. All right, some local things that could attract people. So I'll have some photographs, some depictions to the middle of the book. I also want to say a special thanks to Kimberly, who was very instrumental in editing the book and things that my dad and I even missed.
Right. How long did you take to write all of the things from beginning to end?
It started about 3 years ago.
My goodness.
And but serious effort about a year and a half ago.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, and you're proud of it. Because you have to feel that way before other people start criticizing or critiquing, rather.
I am very proud of it. I am very proud of it. I hope it's something that is worth reading at the end of the day. And I also want to take the opportunity to prompt people that may have the passion for writing, or you may have a manuscript at home, to invest the time into it. And what I've done, this book is self-published, as we discussed. I want to take the opportunity to invite people that might be sitting down on a manuscript at home, not doing anything about it, to vent here. And I have a website using my background in web development. I set up podbake.com, which could start the ball rolling.
That's wonderful. So all they have to do is to access the website,
yes,
and then get in touch with you.
Access the website is also something I found too, is that the publishers locally, they don't have a lot of visibility.
Right.
All right. So this website will allow the publishers to go online. They could register the company, their address, the books that they've done, and also advertise the work that they have.
Excellent. There are lots of those people. So I'm sure that they're absolutely pleased to be able to get this information this morning, and you'll be getting some calls, no doubt.
Yes.
We're talking to a young author, Lyndon Batiste, about a book called 90 Days of Violence. We'll be continuing our discussions on this wonderful piece of information when we come back. Good morning.